Okay, first game was no indicator for the updated balance. This one hopefully is. Wait, that's me. That's not right. It's not how it's supposed to be.
Can I do a live commentary on Neo's face?
Yeah, do. Yeah, please comment on my face.
No.
Ruin
a nice face.
Ruin my self-esteem.
So Lemes is going pal rifle. That's obvious from first second. I mean, I would be very surprised if the one patch it gets buffed a lot. The one thing I'm interested here is that in the main weakness for pal rifle against Night Elf, there are several weaknesses, but the main weakness is getting the pallet to level 3 against the DH can be difficult because he drains your mana and he can just force you back into your main. And now the pal is slower compared to the DH. But if Aspect goes DH, it might be difficult for Lemes to get his levels up. But if he gets them up, of course the Devotion Aura will be extremely helpful in any fights they take.
100% physical damage reduction is never bad. Humans also get the help of longer militia time. Wonder if that comes into... Well, it will come into play if that's noticeable. Will Aspect go Warden? No, he does not. We will see a Demon Hunter also changed with an activation cost on Immolation. We haven't heard much talk about that just yet.
No, I mean, I think everyone, that seems to be a change like even Night Elf players don't think was like necessarily a bad idea as a directional change, but I also don't think the values do that much that it actually makes a lot of strong feelings compared to other stuff. So it's like a very tiny nerf against human. Maybe a bit stronger nerf against undead, which I guess is not popular, understandably.
I think we have to observe if the nerf to Immolation is strong enough.
Yeah, I would agree. My idea is I've always been like maybe Immolation. The values are very hard to get like perfectly, so maybe like if there's any spell that is widely used that could do a redesign, might be Immolation. Not necessarily a big redesign, but something in the way damage is distributed if it's max damage or something. But yeah, I don't think the 5 mana does much. It changes stuff very on the slight edge of the margins, but not like much in general.
Yeah. Of course, it's a lot about mana management, and that is stuff Night Elves have to get used to. If you use more mana, you regen less health, and that adds up over time, I guess. Makes everything a little less efficient than it currently is. It makes it a little harder to make the decision making if you want to deactivate it and activate it again. Night Elves have to think a little bit more than before.
What creep camp did Lemes start with? Did he go small green into the orange? I mean, yeah, creeps like this, of course, the militia timer helps. I think it's more important the fact that now when the opposition hero shows up, the militia can run further back before they can get chased down. That's like the main important thing for the creeping part of militia. There was not many creep camps you took that when militia timer ran out in of itself was like a big problem. It's more the fact that they often had to return in peasant form.
And that's exactly the 2.5 second here.
Yeah.
And they're safe.
So it will have, I think this will have like a bigger impact. If it's a big impact, it's hard to tell, but yeah. You can see, I think it's like how much does the militia move in 2.5 seconds? I mean, it's quite a big distance, right? So. Yeah, also, that Pala would be dead with the old Devotion Aura.
Correct. The first Devotion Aura also buffed not only later levels to absurd numbers, bit more help in the very early game as well. And the Demon Hunter not as strong as it once was and can not even heal to full HP, full mana.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the risk when you tank your DH like that. You kind of want to keep the Pala low, but also it makes it, the Moonwell economy is pretty broken. I wonder if Aspect is going to go for Expo counter here. I think with the Devotion Aura works as it is now, I think even Night Elf might have to do like lame styles or do drops and stuff like that and try to win by overwhelming over time instead of actually doing straight up fights. Because I think this Pala will get level 4, and that's +6 armor.
Yeah, on everything, which is of
We're getting
course
to a
crazy.
point there where rifles more or less can face tank bears, I think, which is will be very difficult for Niall to deal with.
Do you think range units should ever be able to face tank heavy melee?
No. No.
Okay. Just asking questions. Just asking questions.
You're giving me the softball questions here, Mr. Neo.
Yes, I mean, according to the patch notes, we have to explain the RTS basics to the developers team. So I hope they're listening and they learned something here.
This is a good player from Aspect. I mean, it's a bit of a both, of course, but it's more important to keep the Palo low than it is to creep up the Demon Hunter. So I think it's good. He got a rifle as well, which is a pretty good catch. I'm a bit surprised that Lemes does not use the shop he built.
Oh,
but I
true.
guess he just wants to wait for the Blood Mage to use Mana Drain instead of actually buying Clarity. But since the Demon has no mana, it feels like it's an opportunity to actually use a Clarity and get some healing up.
Yeah, won't really dive. Naga comes in. Movement speed reduced for her. Apart from that, no big changes. And no boots on her yet either, just on the Demon Hunter. But yeah, we leave things at level 2. Still got the Scroll of the Beast. The Paladin on level 2 has 14 armor already. And we don't have Inner Fire. We don't have the second level of Devotion Aura. I kind of wonder, like, is there a need for Holy Light 2, or do you go straight up Devotion 2?
A lot of people actually ask that. I think maybe here, still you might want to go Holy Light 2, just because it keeps your Blood Mage alive probably more than the Devotion Aura does. And that's not me barking, by the way, that's my dog. It's everyone wonders. So I think in this use case, I don't think, but especially against Orc, if you go like tier 3 compositions, I think you really want to go Devotion Aura 2, just because the Griffins, for instance, do get so much benefit from it.
Yeah. All that movement speed reduction on multiple heroes, of course, a little bit of a buff indirectly to the Blood Mage, who is kind of reliant on sucking mana, we all know. And if you move slower away from the Siphon, the position of the Blood Mage, you get more mana drained, which makes your heroes weaker and the human heroes stronger.
Yeah, it's also a buff to the DH, with being the fastest hero compared to the Pala. But yeah, I mean, it's the second, that is not such a big factor probably once, I guess he's gonna get, oh my god, I forgot the name of the spell. Blood Mage, second spell, Banish, thanks. See, I can't do one day of casting, my mind just gonna
That's how it is when the stream is on. We can all talk shit in Discord channels, but once the lights are on, dude, it's not that easy.
Yeah, I mean, this game's looking, I kind of lost the track of the game, but I mean, this game looks very good for Aspect, I would say. He got the Blood Mage, so Blood Mage is trapped. But I don't think this was like indicative of the power of the strategy. I think it was some bad-ish moves by Lemes, losing track of the Blood Mage. I mean, I don't think the Blood Mage should ever be surrounded like that in the open. So I just think he forgot about it in control group, or he ran out on... I think maybe he ran around to join the army because he was rallied. So yeah, unless until he gets level 2 here, the fights are very difficult because you don't have Banish to keep the edge away from just getting the mana low. But once the Banish comes to line, of course, this push is suddenly very, very strong. Also, buying the items, I think, is a good idea.
Kind of necessary for the push.
Now he can focus the Pala if it pushes.
And I guess the push is coming. Bloodlaw is back. No casters yet. No tier 3. Armor upgrades, though. I like.
Well, that's actually, that's interesting. I mean, he already have 2-1 upgrades when that armor upgrade finishes. So I think Lemes has I think the Pala rifle composition is very upgrade heavy because you really don't ever want to go above 50 foot. You can go really hard on the upgrades, and of course you stay on tier 2 as well. So these rifles will hit hard and tank a lot of damage. I think this push is actually scary, even though we are used to think that riflemen against bears is completely lost. I think this is very difficult for Aspect to hold.
He got a lot of moon juice still. He has tier 3, got the bears. Not much mana on the Demon Hunter anymore, but he's not too dependent on immolation anyway. +7 on the rifles.
Insane, though.
Yep.
If he gets 1 kill and gets banished, I think, now it's very difficult for Aspect to do much. Well, missed micro by Lemes. They should have banished the rifle, I think.
This is, of course, the perfect time for Thorzane to come back if he wants to play his old strats.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if I feel like the counter to Pal Rifle would ideally be like, or is more strategical than like straight up fights usually, and I don't know if he can solve that problem on his level, but maybe. I mean, of course, if the strategy becomes powerful enough, it will always be like can beat anything. So, it was a good hold. He had a decent. When the hero levels are equal, Lemes has a lot better upgrades, and he's getting levels on his heroes.
Yeah.
I still think this actually is very good for Lemes.
So yeah, you should outscale the enemy, I would say, with better Siphon, better Devotion, better upgrades, Dispel, finally healing in the next fight. Not bad.
And also, the fact that level 4 Pala now is such a big upgrade. It used to be like a I mean, it was a good upgrade for Devotion, but it felt pretty smallish, I would say, in practical terms. Now the difference is so big, units will look a lot more tanky. The problem is that his ally is actually, ironically, now pretty weak before he gets health back.
The priest will come. Unfortunately, no mining picks just yet. Hope they're available in the marketplace. Because that needs a showcase of how incredibly broken it is.
Indeed. And I think like this composition one basis has... I don't think it has worked quite well on the top level, but it's always been more strong than I think people think with rifle into casters on one base. Because the human can get like a timing here where he's like up to almost 70 food and the Nihil still like barely is breaking 50. Just because the unit cost is so much cheaper. So, yeah, I mean, Lemes is already 10 foot ahead. Aspect really hasn't banked anything. And he can creep very fast with the rifles. But of course now the strategical play comes in with dropping. I think this is where Lemes gets frustrated, understandably.
I mean, it's pretty much exactly what you said. Don't take the straight up fights later on. It's just super strong. Just lame a bit, hurt the economy, and we are back to the most beautiful thing: peasants dying.
True. Sad.
I don't know. They probably deserve it. They ruined the environment.
I wonder, like with this new strength of Pal Rifle, if there should maybe be room to make space for workshop in preemptive for drops.
Ah, for gyros.
Yeah, so just if you get one, I mean, you basically. Oh, he has Expo. I didn't even notice that. Yep. I'm a bad observer. Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
I mean, yeah, okay. Then this laming doesn't do much, to be honest. Like even. He'd killed a few peasants, and now he's stuck over his main, doesn't creep. Yeah, I mean, I think this game is super over, to be honest. Depends on how much Aspect can like just keep Lemes in his base and get some gold up to build a super army. But Lemes is getting casters now. He has a lot of slow, and he will have. Oh, okay, game's over.
Yeah,
that was a bit anticlimactic.
You just hardcore caster cursed the poor Aspect. Oh my god, that was one of the most brutal caster curses.
If you ever hear this afterwards, Aspect, I'm truly sorry.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, that was rough. Yeah, my mind was like, is that gonna survive? Yeah, let's not make a big deal out of it.
Yep.
And then a second later.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
No, I mean, this is Lemes has been doing pretty well with the Pal Rifle, even against Night Elf recently on ladder, comparatively to how we used to. And I mean, from first instances, look pretty strong, I would say.
I agree. Not crazy strong. Wait, are we on the wrong game? Did you host this game?
No, I joined, I think, or maybe I did.
Oh, now it's
sorry.
Weird. They'll let us know. Yeah, looked strong, but it wasn't like the counter push that completely destroyed him, but the aura wasn't there anyway, it's not a good showcase for how strong this could potentially be.
No, I think like if you're going, ideally you need to pick off more in the early game if you're going to be like straight up fighting. Otherwise, you probably need to get that drop into the main before the push actually happens. Or, like keep him on that side before. So that trade and that push was good enough that it bought them a lot of time. And after that, it was, I think, difficult for Aspect. But I mean, it's still like just 2 equal 2K plus players play one playing Pal Rifle and pretty convincingly winning the game. It's pretty new in general, even before this PTR, I would say.
So I wonder if they know that this is best of 3.
Because message them.
Yeah, it's BO3 today. Because they only entered 1-0.
Yeah, maybe there might be several people thinking that because it's PTR, like because of the PTR thing, might think it's a bit more one map stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, usually the round of 16 is best of 1, but since we have twice the prize pool today, thanks to Sergey Revive, and we want more games to observe, I just doubled it.
Just double it, Neo.
Double it from 1 to 3. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm very good at math, as you know.
Well, I also wrote 300% earlier today when it was 200%. So I think we all have our weaknesses, me included.
In the internet, really? I think we're all perfect. Especially the people out there subbing to the channel. I'm a little late with that. Thank you, Janky Gatslinger. 39 month, dead game, my ass, less than 3. Midnight 3164871 sub. CJ Bachi, 1 year resub. Struck, thank you for the 6 month. Kartoffelgoon, pickaxe, best item ever. Is that true?
Depends on what you mean with best. It might legitimately be the best level 3 item of all time in a RTS game. But best in a more general sense, probably not.
Yeah, there have been some crazy stuff. The Goblin landmines come to mind from back in the day. Okay, game is up with a 4.
Let's see.
Lemes a 4. Haha, sorry. My bad. Usually Happy throws me out in the first stage. Nice. Okay. Sweet. Alright, you're in. We get more games. Everything's fine. I'm gonna reopen the game. Second try then?
This is like such a perfect balance match. 21-14 versus 21-18.
Is everything ever perfectly balanced in Warcraft 3, Dondo?
Well, no. And I don't think we should strive for that either.
Never, never. And you also know the MMR inflation, and because you're a certain race, your MMR is inflated anyway, so you have to take that into account. I mean, who are you talking to? You deal with these numbers and the discussions all the time.
Yeah, it's never ending. I do get some DMs, I can admit.
Don't we all? Don't we all? So, will Lemes change the strategy, Dondo? Away from Pally? No. Oh, no. Okay, good. Maybe.
Sometimes it's very nice to have like certainties in life. And there's one certainty in life is that Lemes is going to play Pally Rifle.
Yeah, always.
Even AKM can switch it up and suddenly put up Angry Korean Man, as it's known as. Put up Archmage first and do like something surprising. But Lemes plays Pally Rifle.
Yeah, he's definitely like more extreme than AKM and more extreme than Mr. Winner. Which sounds impossible, but yeah, Pally Rifle all day. The Polish Sunny.
It's like a master of one thing, right? It's I guess it works. Like it has worked for him. He's been like gone far up in MMR, especially the last 3-4 months. He was kind of like on my MMR level for quite a while. 1900, and now he's become a 2K1 player.
I would have loved to have a face cam when he read the patch notes for the first time.
Maybe he's the man behind the patch notes.
Oh, the mess and pass that rhymes. goes well together.
Yeah, I mean, I was like thinking Warden, probably not something Lemes like, because you can counter like a Rasp, but Warden doesn't work against Pala. I mean, I think Warden is actually pretty weak against Pala Rifle. Because you can that push is going to be very difficult for Warden to deal with. And of course with the mana drain as well. So yeah, I mean, this is a LMS patch. I would like, if LMS goes any other strategy, I would suspect it to be Griffins. So it kind of fits the narrative.
Anything outside the ordinary, I like.
Again, Aspect goes for pretty greedy creep camp. I guess like you know you're super safe, right, to creep against LMS, so you can do whatever. Though, I mean, and then this map, there's like no obvious first camp with Pala Rifle to go for level 2. Because going for the merchant camp, I think you won't be finished before Aspect shows up. So in that aspect, Kappa, it's a good map for Aspect, I think.
It's his loser's pick, so it should be. But yeah, I mean, these guys with the same MR, they will meet on ladder many times. So Aspect knows if we know it, he knows it. And once again, we see a safe militia retreat, and again we see an aggressive demon hunter.
Yeah, and the mess Aspect actually stopped moving there for a short while, and that actually messed up its harassment here a bit. So Lemes got the first creep almost for free, which I mean everything matters here. So it's a bit sloppy by Aspect.
He's young, still has to learn. Thank you, Witty, for the raid. 170 people. We held a tournament to test the new balance that Blizzard gave us as a wonderful gift. And Demon Hunter trying to chase the Paladin with a lower movement speed doesn't really work too well. Rifle damage output pretty nice, but that's what the troll piece is for, to back it up, and that's something we haven't seen before. So Demon Hunter maybe a little bit more harass uptime.
The problem here is that it doesn't have anything to mana burn with. So yeah, I mean, this drains the Moonjuice quite a lot. I'm not sure this was like the going back in there was a good move. He really didn't delay the creeping much by doing it, and he's gonna drain his Moonjuice even more. So maybe, but yeah, I like, it's a very hard decision I think to make for Night Elf, because you know that the level 3 for the Pal is such a game changer. To be able to do anything, counter harassment, especially when a Naga or the second hero comes out, but also on the other hand, if you're now he kind of has the same result, but just with no Moonjuice left, and not a full HP DH.
He's rebuilding them. We always see a lot of Moonjuice, of course, with this build. And Lemes is not doing much with his time currently.
No, I think he was afraid that Aspect was going to be able to like catch him while creeping. I actually think he had time there. I think he overestimated Aspect's speed, or also like maybe he thought Aspect had a telestaff so he would get there faster, but I think he would have time to take the creeps out and get level 3.
Yeah,
and he would have, even with mana burn, he would have one holy light, so I don't think he would lose anything. So now he's doing like very evasion creeping. I guess it's fine as well. I mean, it's kind of interesting that Lemes doesn't have to get level 3 fast as long as he gets it, so doing like being conservative and running around maybe is not such a bad option either.
Yeah, and creep speed with rifles is pretty insane. Indeed. Finish the camp in no time.
And now Aspect is run without doing anything. It's going Panda Sec in this game.
Okay, I guess Drunken Haze solid for creeping. Should be good against rifles. We saw in the first game that Priest in general are coming in late for the dispel of that. So yeah, I don't hate it if you don't go for a push, if you want to creep a little bit yourself.
Yeah, and it's also like if you actually are able to do counter drops, it's more powerful, because I mean Breath of Fire is very good at killing buildings and just killing the peasants a lot faster than Naga does. But I do worry if it's ever going to get this pad up to a level where it works. Like, this creep cap is extremely rough. I would say, like, for this small army, and it's really struggling to get it with the inner fire. So it's getting bonked by armor both by Lemes and the creeps now, which must be frustrating experience.
Feels bad indeed. And here's the first push with level 3 as suggested. Also gets a big mana potion for a lot of healing. Just storms into the base and lures will be delayed. Bears will be delayed. Ooh, this is not a good game for Aspect.
No, this is game deciding damage probably.
Nice that you say probably. Learned a lesson already.
Yeah, we
Love
never
it.
know. I mean, this is, I mean, yeah, it's good damage, but it depends. Like, if you can get 3-4 kills there, it can even out. But his bears are gonna be so late.
Yeah. Tier 3 halfway done. Lore's not even up. Gets a rifle. The other two are pretty hurt, but of course, an unlimited amount of holy light thanks to the potion.
And no level 3 of the DH means that the mana is so, like, he never gets rid of mana anyways. Some good blocking by Lemes with a slightly slower pala. You actually see the difference, I feel, in the movement speed within the Panda and the DH. I mean, he has boots, of course, so it makes him, but you do like see the heroes a bit slower. You can see it when they move next to units now, that they kind of jog next to them instead of running past.
Yeah, is that a good or a bad thing?
I mean, some people really like the old movement speed. Personally, I had like a break in playing Warcraft when that was more common, so for me it's unusual, and I'm not sure like what it adds, getting slower. It makes body blocking a lot easier for those heroes. It makes those heroes weaker comparatively in general, and I'm not sure that, like, most slow-ish heroes are that strong to begin with, as meta is currently.
Yeah.
The strongest heroes in the game are probably Archmage, Demon Hunter, like heroes that are already very fast. Then I guess Lich gets hurt the most, because that's the one slow hero that is also arguably the most powerful. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't stop commentating, but this game was very over.
Very one-sided indeed, despite not the most efficient creep route in the mid-game. Build a paladin, build some rifles, move across, win the game. Was that just balance, or was that not the perfect play by Aspects as well?
It's a good play by Lemes as well, I think. Like, actually, doing the evasion creeping helped, because Aspect didn't decide on trying to chase him down or going counter creeping, so he was stuck on level 2 DH, which is very problematic, especially when Lemes also was a bit lucky with the bigger mana potion, of course. But yeah, I mean, the only thing we saw here was +1 armor, I guess, in Devotion Aura, and a slightly slower paladin. So it's kind of hard to decipher much, I would say, from that in of itself. Though, I mean, 1 armor is always impactful as well. Might have been 2 more dead rifles. But I think this game was more strategically decided by movement in the early game.